About 7 years ago, I made a video on why I stopped supporting Holly Brown. To say that video received support was an understatement. However, time, therapy, and a much more refined critical style has rendered that video outdated. Ask any artist if they enjoy looking at their art from 7 years ago. I'm willing to bet they will squirm. I have since unlisted that video, but I kept it up for archival reasons. Anyone who wants to do whatever they want with the video may do so. However, understand that it is an old and outdated video, and I do not hold a lot of the beliefs in that video. If I were to do it all over again, I probably wouldn't have made the video at all. Since then, I have taken a much more kinder view on Holly Brown. Dare I even say, I miss some of her videos that no longer exist. I may have not agreed with her 100%, but I was at least able to understand where and how I got to that viewpoint. Consider this video a more updated piece with more modern critique and a direct apology to Holly Brown. Holly Brown is an art commentator best known for her more scathing takes on art and media. Whereas a lot of art channels were more PG and kid-oriented, Holly went against that grain and swore like a trucker while drawing wee-wees. To say she was a polarizing content creator would be an understatement. Many people, myself included, complained of her tone and her more harsh attitude. Now, that just seems to be small potatoes compared to other controversies other YouTubers have gotten themselves into. While my video didn't outright cancel her, God, I fucking hate that term so much, it did open the floodgates for harassment. And that is something I will forever take accountability for. Say what you want about me, but I at least didn't make a video calling into question Holly's weight and making comments about how I want her to commit suicide. Racist uncle. What really got Holly cancelled was the fact that she traced an image of the character Alphonse from Full Metal Alchemist. Many have pointed out that the character was drawn in a much more neat manner compared to the character Edward Elric. To make matters worse, the image was planned on being sold as a print. Many people called out the tracing, with some believing it to be an idiotic decision at best to someone who's trying to deceive their audience at worst. Emily Artful provided a more faithful approach to it. She says that since Holly is a comic artist, it would make sense for her to initially trace it, as she wasn't deceiving anyone. She knew what she was doing and was upfront about it. She also points out that if you're dealing with the brunt of harassment, you would get defensive too. I have been the victim of a few harassment campaigns. One, funny enough, was started by Creepshow Art, and I have lost my temper numerous times. Were there times where I lashed out at the wrong person who was doing me no harm? Yes, and I would like to formally apologize for that. What I'm trying to get to laboriously is that I understand why she acted the way she did. When you have that much pressure on you, yeah, no shit, they're not gonna act perfect. That's part of being a human being. And then there were some concerning comments she made on the subject of sexual assault.
I just never understand that he forced me to suck his dick. It's like, bitch, bite down. Like, you know how easy that'd be? I mean, come on, you got teeth.
Oh, God.
Right? Like, I don't know.
Ah, yes. If only I had known the process of biting down on a dick while I was being assaulted. Should have kept that in mind, regardless that my brain shut it down from mere shock. If there is one thing to criticize Holly for, is for those kinds of comments. They are beyond disgusting and there is no excuse for them. And then there was the controversy over a My Hero Academia fanzine. To sum up, Holly Brown organized a fanzine dedicated to the aforementioned series. To say it was a disaster would be an understatement. Now, many people assume that Holly ran away with the money obtained when the opposite is true. The artists were compensated for their time and energy on the project. I believe that the project was not handled well. Not because Holly is malicious, but more because this is her first time dealing with a project of this scale. Mistakes are bound to be made. And then Holly's channel got taken down. Not because she deleted it, but because it got hacked. Long story short, she fell for the oldest scam in the book. And then she came back for a minute and then rebranded to Razor Laser. It seems as though she has moved away from art commentary to focus more on her business, which, honestly, good for her. We love seeing an artist thrive. Although I do miss some of her videos. I haven't seen any archive channels dedicated to some of her videos, and I wish there was. One video that really had me thinking was her video on overconsumption in art products. First of all, if you skipped over to this part, hi, how you doing? How's your day going? So, as I mentioned, I never would have made the video if I were to go back in time. But that would be the most basic, easy answer. And because I want actual engagement with the algorithm, we're gonna have to be more nuanced than that. Which meant having to go back to that video. Now, having watched the video itself, I can say it was nowhere near as terrible as I thought it would be. However, there are some parts of the video where I was flat out wrong or my opinions changed outright. For starters, I would remove the tone of the video. It had this serious overtone for a video that amounted to, I don't like how she presents her opinions, so she's bad now. Like, this isn't a news announcement of a fucking killer on the loose. You can calm your big ass down. Literally. I'm gonna be honest, a lot of my videos carried a more cynical and angry tone. It reached its absolute zenith with the hentai hoodie video. It's just my Holly Brown video is the one that most of you guys have seen. This was largely because I was being mentally, verbally, and sexually abused by my ex. As a result, it made me a very unpleasant person to be around. Not excusing my behavior, by the way, I'm just trying to explain myself. I'm in a much better place mentally, and I'm surrounded by people who love and care for me. Another thing I would remove would be this entire section. Holly, if you're watching this, please take some notes. I'm gonna be honest, I hate this trend. I hate this trend of calling out YouTubers and proceeding to go, I want to talk to you / want you to take some notes. It feels weird, insanely invasive, and screams of, let me in, buddy. The YouTuber doesn't have to take your criticism, especially if it's unsolicited and coming from someone they don't know. YouTubers are not your friends. They're not your colleagues, they're not your family, they're not your loved ones, and they're most certainly not your spouse. They are merely someone on the internet making videos. Another part I would have taken out is accusing her of having her head up her ass. That part was unwarranted, especially after delivering some more valid points about watching what you say on social media and being more open to criticism. Speaking of criticism, I mentioned how beginning artists should embrace all criticism. While I agree with the nucleus of this simply isn't true. I am of the opinion that there is both good and bad criticism. And that video was somewhere in the middle. While there is helpful advice, the criticism is lost the moment I pulled that head out of her ass comment. The main thing I complained about is her alleged ego and her tone. As I have grown up, I've come to realize that the notion of tone dictating everything you say is complete bullshit. While it does help to provide some context, tone is not the be-all end-all people perceive it to be. And I say this as someone who's been accused of always wanting to be right and having an ego. Also, if you are someone who takes problem with someone's tone, that sounds like a you problem. In terms of her having an ego, I did not know presenting your opinion in a confident manner was arrogance. Even if she was arrogant, that would hardly be a crime, despite what the internet court will tell you. It's most certainly not on the same playing field as someone using their platform to take advantage of their fans. Also, when comparing her to other YouTubers, maybe don't compare her to Jane Animations or the Odd Ones Out. Maybe Emily Artful would have been a better comparison. And I guess now is better of a time to put in a direct apology. Holly, If you're watching this, and I highly doubt that you are, I would like to express my deepest apologies. I never should have made that video, and I am sorry for contributing to further harassment. You never personally harmed me, and for me to give up on you when you were dealing with deep mental anguish is unfair of me. I don't expect immediate forgiveness, and I do not want to hear from other people forgiving me. The only person who can determine that is Holly herself. And I think that's all I really have to say on the matter. As I mentioned in the video, I want this to be an updated piece on her and express remorse for my actions. Now that I've said all that, I can sleep easy. Anyways, that's all I have to say. If you liked this video, check out my channel for more content, and until then, I'll see you guys in the next video.